Welcome back to Law and Crime Daily. New details are emerging a week after the disappearance of a California family, including an 8-month-old baby, were found murdered. 2 men are now in custody, charged in connection to the kidnapping and murder of the Derry family. Officials say Jesus Salgado kidnapped, then murdered the family of 4, including an 8-month-old, her mother and father, and her uncle. A manhunt ensued after authorities found a truck belonging to the family on fire. Days later, the victims' bodies were discovered by a farmer in an almond orchard. Police say Salgado was a former employee of the family's trucking business and had a long-standing feud going with them. Their kidnapping was reportedly caught on surveillance. Video outside the business showing an armed man forcing the family into a truck. Alberto Salgado, Jesus' brother, was arrested later on suspicion that he helped destroy evidence. He is charged with criminal conspiracy and accessory. Our recap continues in California, taking us to Los Angeles, where disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein faces another stint in court off the back of the Me Too movement. Weinstein faces 4 counts of rape and 7 other sexual assault charges in connection to 5 women, all of whom plan to testify as Jane Does for the prosecution. Weinstein is already serving 23 years in prison for similar charges in New York after his conviction back in February of 2020. With an appeal on this case in the works, a conviction in the LA case could be the proverbial nail in the coffin. On Monday, news broke that Jennifer Siebel Newsom, wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom, will testify in the trial against Weinstein. In a statement, Siebel Newsom's attorney said, quote, "My client was sexually assaulted by Harvey Weinstein at a purported business meeting that turned out to be a trap." Jury selection is slated to last 2 weeks, and the trial itself is expected to run 8 weeks. Philip, allegations of rape from the last 5 years, convicted in similar crimes 2 years ago in New York now. How do you think the defense will work to try to get an impartial jury in this LA case?
Well, the first thing I hope they'll do, and something that I do, is I send a law clerk out in the hall while the veneer men are assembling to see what they're reading. You know, if you have people out there reading, Jane Eyre, Little Women, and Nancy Drew, you want to kick them because they're going to be more friendly toward women. You also want to get rid of people who are reading stuff like, Helter Skelter, Mein Kampf, and To Kill a Mockingbird. You don't want them. And as you're doing your examination of those jurors, you want to find out, especially with the women, what organizations they might belong to or donate money to, like Women's Lib Movement, the National Organization for Women, et cetera. And you want to obviously get rid of those because of the inherent bias. Now, the one thing Harvey does have for him is that home field advantage. What better place for a Hollywood mogul to stand trial is in Hollywood itself. Just about all the veneer men, I shouldn't say all, but a big percentage of them are employed by the biz. And I think there's a cultural understanding in the biz that part of the employment package is that people behind the camera and in front of the camera expect these types of antics.
Now, real quick, Terry, Siebel Newsom testifying, good thing or bad thing for the prosecution?
Oh, it's definitely a good thing for the prosecution. Very liberal LA area, and she is deemed obviously a stature in her community. So I think it's good for the prosecution.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Law and Crime Daily. We'll see you next time as we discuss justice in America.